My name is Ron Cecil. I'm a men's coach in Portland, Oregon, and the co-host of the podcast, Cutting for Sign. I wanted to talk to you about a question that came up on my podcast with a guest of ours on episode 66 with Dr. Robert Glover, who's got a PhD in family and marriage therapy. Daniel, my co-host, asked if someone's on the path and they are really thinking about what it takes to change and to stop their people-pleasing behaviors or the other behaviors in their life that, in the sense that feels a little compulsive, or it feels like they don't have good control over that aspect of their life. How does a person know that, number one, they're on the path, and number two, how do they know if they get off the path? And Dr. Glover said a couple of really interesting things. He talked about that any kind of change agent that you might participate in, whether it's a self-help book, a religious experience, losing weight, or whatever it might be, that all of it should come with a warning that says this is going to take a while. And I couldn't agree more, because if you think about it, whether you want to lose weight or you want to gain a bunch of muscle, it's not done overnight. It takes a while. In fact, it takes a long time to get the big goals that you want to do. It takes effort, little by little, and consistency over time. And he says, I think the folks that do that the best are probably folks in the 12-step community. When he said that, right away, I remembered my early days in the 12-step community. I've been alcohol-free for almost 9 years. And during that 9 years, AA, that 12-step community, has been my number one go-to on staying sober from alcohol. I got there because I had about a decade career of drinking and not have the ability to stop drinking. I would go dry for a few months, and then when I'd come back, I would come back with a vengeance. I noticed as a family man, it started to really interfere with the quality of my life. I noticed that every intense fight that I had with my wife was preceded with some level of drinking, not always heavy drinking, but some level of drinking. And I also noticed that as a dad, alcohol was a tremendous agent or lubricant for my anger. Even if I had just one beer, I was more apt to fly off the handle in anger at my son, who at the time was like 5 years old or something like that. He was a young dude, little guy. And so I tried all different kinds of methods. And at one point, after failing over and over again, I decided to reach out to a few friends of mine and said, guys, I need help. This is what's going on. What do I do? And one of them goes, have you just tried AA? And I had a gut reaction, like, why would I even try AA? That's only for like severe alcoholics and people who are like off the street or off the handle or who are non-functioning in some way. So I was really judgmental of what I thought that meant. And someone handed me the number of somebody else who had been in the 12-step community. I called him, and the person I heard on the other line was a very intelligent, compassionate professional, someone who had already done well in their life, and began to tell me rationally about the change he'd experienced in the 12-step program. And over time, what I learned was, number one, it wasn't what I thought. It was a completely different experience. I thought it was for people who had really struggled on kind of the street level of alcoholism or something like that. And yes, there are plenty of people in there who have experienced that. And I was really trying to find an excuse not to go, is the reality. I was trying to find some way that if I could not identify with the folks in there, then that wasn't me. But the more I listened, the more I heard the stories, the more I realized that this was exactly my kind of people. And that's been 9 years, and I've had a lot of success in my life, in particular around my relationships and my relationship with myself since joining a 12-step program. Now, one thing I learned over time is that there are 12-step programs far the confines of alcohol. You may have heard that there's 12-step programs for narcotics, for cocaine, for codependency, for sex and love. No matter where you are, if there's been something in your life that has taken control in the sense that your identity is wrapped up in it, that there's a compulsion, like you can't stop doing it no matter what, Or if you do stop, when you come back, it comes back even harder. It even becomes more persistent in your life. 12-step is probably for you. In 2020, Stanford University did some research that involved 10,800 people, and they found that 12-step programs were the most effective way to stop using alcohol and to stay sober from alcohol. This is a program that's been around since the 30s, that is the 12-step world. And it's the program that even if you go to rehab, 60% of people who go to rehab go straight into a 12-step program. It's there because it's got built-in community, it's got a built-in language, it's got a built-in path for people who feel like they don't belong. If you've ever felt like, I don't really identify with the normal population, and you go into a 12-step meeting and you see all these people who in some way were gonna say, I never felt like I belonged, you're gonna know that place is for you. So here's what you do next. If you're struggling with any of the things that I've spoken about, or even something I haven't spoken about, I would, number one, just go look up, Google the thing that you're struggling with and the word 12-step and see what you find. I think you'd be really surprised how available things are for that. Number two, now go to a meeting. One of the other things that Dr. Glover said on my podcast was, there are countless individuals who made it all the way into the parking lot of a 12-step program and they never got out of the car, right? They got in there and they became too afraid, too frozen with fear to take the next step. So I challenge you to go in there and make yourself known, tell people who you are, why you're there, and people will offer help. They will absolutely extend a hand to see if they need help. So just do those two things. One, search for what you're dealing with. Number two, find a meeting, go to a meeting. And if a 12-step program has been of a benefit in your life, I'd love to hear your experience, strength, and hope down in the comments. And maybe somebody will read that and make a decision to go do what they need to do for themselves. Take care, everybody.